Hey guys, this is Joshua from Banks Arcade. May the rock be with you.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, good to see you, mate.
Cool. Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Melbourne.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
in
nice one.
Melbourne,
Is
yeah.
it raining there? It's always raining there.
Nah, it's actually a nice sunny day today. So I've been out
Oh,
walking and kicking back. We've got a this week we leave for tour with Thornhill. So
oh, lovely.
yeah. So just getting prepared for that, and then we'll be off on the road for really the next few months, to be honest.
I know. Let's get to that shortly. But more importantly, when you're getting ready to release your debut album, essentially, what are the emotions and thoughts going through your head?
I think it's mainly excitement at this point. We've kind of been through the roller coaster of emotions that come with doing an album. For us, this album was actually finished completely. All of the content was done for it about 2 years ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're kind of, for us, we've heard the songs so much, and we're just really ready to get them out and for other people to hear them. Because obviously with everything that's gone on with the pandemics and stuff, it's been hard.
Yeah.
It's been hard just having them sit there in the background, but not really getting the feedback on them. So it'll be really good to get that out there.
Nice. Was that a conscious decision to hold it back, in essence?
No, not really. We went back to New Zealand as a result of the pandemic, and all of the writing and recording for this album was done when we were in New Zealand,
Right.
and then we basically came back to Australia with a full project completed, all of the videos and everything, and that's when we sort of started the process, shopping around with labels, and obviously partnered up with UNFD and all of the awesome team that we're working with at the moment. But yeah, all of that was done for us before we came over.
Cool. So it is your first full length. Give us one word you feel sums up Future Lovers.
Eclectic, I
Yeah,
would
cool.
say, is the
That's
one
good,
word.
actually. Sounds about
Um,
right.
I'm definitely not a one word type person, as many of my friends would tell you. I very much struggle to condense things into small bite-sized packages. So you're lucky that I was able to answer that one, or I could have just been sitting here umming and ahhing for about 10 minutes.
Nice. And then we run out of time.
Yeah,
Now, you've had EPs out prior, but with an album, it's essentially your introduction to the world, if you like.
yeah.
So what's a process to make sure it was perfect or something? Was it something that just played out naturally, or was it like you had really worked on it to get it exactly how you wanted it?
Yeah, so I think this album is definitely it feels like a band that's trying to find its identity.
Mm.
So there's awesome things in that because it was written at a time when there was so much uncertainty and chaos, which in a way, even though it was difficult for the whole world and difficult for us, it was kind of liberating because we had no idea what was actually going to happen. All we knew is that we had endless time to work on music, and there wasn't a label breathing down our necks. There wasn't this, there wasn't that, there wasn't this expectation to create something that had a specific sound. Really, we just wanted to make the best offering that we could to be an introduction to the world. So I think that there was an element of that I'm really happy with, and that made the album as different as it is from start to finish. Like instead of us having this expectation of we're going to create this very specific thing, it was more open and free. And I think that it gives a good scope for the potential that the band has to go in many different directions as opposed to just being one thing.
Eclectic.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, in chatting to people before during this pandemic and all this sort of stuff that have written and made records during this time, some found it therapeutic, some struggled to write, some thrived on it. What was your experience with your music in the crazy time?
It was awesome for me, really. Like in all honesty, like I've said, when we were just over in the UK, we've actually recorded the second project that comes out after this,
Mm.
and so to compare that process with this process, even though we've got amazing stuff out of this next stuff, it was far more brutal, I think, and our expectations were so high, and how much we were putting into it. It was an amazing process, but it was a very difficult one. When I think back to the Future Lovers period, I can truly sum up that whole time as just a long stretch of flow state. Like all of the content, the videos, the songs, all of the recording was done in 10 days total. So we were up in Auckland in a studio, and we were just all day, all night recording, banging the whole thing out. And none of it really felt like, obviously there's always difficulties in the studio, there's ups and downs, but it was truly like a magical experience. And when we look back at the videos and all that stuff, it's always something that we think of fondly.
Yeah.
um and I think that we always will.
Nice. Now, I love how you call it the future lovers period, and it hasn't even come out yet, and you're still referring to it as the past.
Yeah, yeah.
But now you're talking about a second already. You've been writing. You're still going. Are we going to get
Already
something soon, like
recorded.
later?
It's already done.
And the week after Future Lovers, we get the second album. But
Yeah. And I just started telling people, like, I don't even know if we were meant to, but when we were in the
maybe not.
UK, people what are you doing over here? And I'm like, we're recording the next thing. And people be like, what? And then I came back and I had a meeting with the label and I was like, yeah, I was just telling everyone. And they're like, okay, sweet.
It's awesome. Now, touring wise, I saw you guys for the first time at the Uncaged Festival in Sydney.
Oh, wow.
Never heard of you before, and you guys killed it up on that stage. How important is the live aspect of the band?
It is the most important thing, really. When we're writing songs and when we're crafting pretty much anything, we are always thinking, how is this going to sound on a stage? How is it going to sound on a big stage? Like, that's how we've always wanted to be up on big stages playing this music. And so when I guess when we're making pretty much any decision, that is like the end goal, is to create an awesome live experience, because that's probably what we love the most about music in general, is being able to consume it live. And I think that some bands make awesome studio records, which are best listened to on a good sound system or in headphones. And some of those records I love.
Yep.
And then there's other bands who make stuff that is 100% geared towards live, and that is what we try and do. So yeah, I'd say it's at the forefront.
Yeah, my friend that I was with, we walked straight out and she bought one of your t-shirts. She's still like, I love that band.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, she would have paid for our lunch then. So thank you.
I'll let her know. But now you've also been out and about. You just talked about being in the UK. You played Download, right? How was that experience?
It was crazy. Download was amazing. The sheer scale of that, like, we played Unify Festival here, and I think that's like nearly 10,000 people, and Download is like 100,000 people there. So like it's like a city. So being able to go over there and just be a part of that and sort of see the scale of it was really crazy. It was kind of different for us, of a band at our level being able to play a festival that big. We were kind of there as punters as well, and we were camping, we were meeting all new people, making friends literally every day, and just partying and drinking with people in the crowd. And then we just so happened to get to play. We played twice there, actually. So we played on the first night, and then we played on the Saturday. And by the time we played on the Saturday, we were literally looking out to a crowd of people where we had like friends all over the place that we had just met at the festival that had ended up in the tent. And it was absolutely awesome. And the way that we were received over there, I think, exceeded our expectations a lot. Right. So yeah, we were real excited.
Were you able to connect with any of the other artists or band playing there to give you any tips, or were you watching them for pointers, or is there anything you keep an eye on?
Yeah, we're always thinking about that. I mean, it's hard at festivals, to be honest. There's so much going on that I never really judge a band based upon a festival appearance, because you can hear a band and them sound like trash. And if you think, oh man, this band doesn't sound good live, then you see them at a headliner or even just supporting at like a club show, and then they sound 10 times better. And so I always take everything with a grain of salt. But yeah, we met heaps of bands over there. We got to work with lots of cool people. And, even on the same management roster as us, you've got Sleep Token, Loathe, Holding Absence, all these other cool bands that we're able to sort of see and connect with. So it's been awesome to be able to do that.
If you were that good at Uncaged and you're 10 times better at your own shows, I can't wait to see those.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, you do mention dates before with Thornhill and In Heart's Wake coming up as well. How would you best describe what people can expect when they see you live if they haven't?
I think these sets especially are just high energy back to back, really. We're going to be playing a lot of our new songs. And yeah, a lot of our sets, especially our headline stuff, is really dynamic. So it's kind of up and down, but this stuff is just punching you in the face from the start to the end. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Nice. Now, we talked about the last couple of years. They were crazy for everybody. But what, if anything, has this whole situation taught you that you'll now maintain throughout your life and career?
I think it's interesting because we've always embraced uncertainty, but it's made that reality so much more in your face for everyone. Like, I feel like that there's so many things that people took for granted as that they're always going to be this way, or that you're always going to have certain privileges. And then suddenly when all of that is ripped away from you, you can kind of begin to doubt everything. And I think that a healthy amount of that doubt is actually really good to take through your life, because when you realize that at any moment everything could be stripped away from you. I mean, you look around the world, there's fucking wars happening. There's all this stuff going on where one day people were going out and getting a coffee with their friends, and the next day they're hiding from tanks. Like this is always a reality that we're in as human beings. We just so happen to be at a place in the world where we're really lucky to have medical care and food and all the stuff that's just really accessible to us. But in terms of humanity, like none of this stuff is guaranteed, and none of this stuff is we can just expect. And so I think that what the pandemic showed everyone was like, oh, holy shit, things can easily go really bad. And maybe it makes people appreciate things a little bit more and be comfortable with the small levels of risk and uncomfortability that we've got to face in this corner of the world.
Yep, excellent answer. That's exactly how it is. And it's just crazy, everyone. I've talked to some of the biggest rock stars, after this period, and they're just same sort of thing. It's just like it made them slow down and made them realize. And it's kind of like, it's cool. It gave everyone a reset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, even though you guys are still relatively new on the scene, it can be very easy to say what can change over a certain period of time. What for you, though, is the one thing that has always remained the same?
The work ethic, I think. It has always been unchanging. I mean, when we've been down to 2 members and not had anybody caring about us at all or caring to look in our direction, we've always maintained the same level of work, and we always will as long as we exist. Because I think that as a band, you can have all of these arbitrary expectations on yourself. I want to sell this many records. I want to play this big of a festival at this kind of slot. But things like that, they're not guaranteed. They're not things that you actually control, because there's so many other things that go into a metric like that. There's so much luck elements and right place, right time. Whereas putting one foot in front of the other and being able to work hard no matter what is something that you can control. So I think for us, we always keep it as a constant, and we're always just looking to the next thing that we can do to improve what we're doing and to make us better as people and as musicians as well. So yeah, I think that that'll always be constant for us.
Nice. So there's no dream, there's no goal. It's just take it as it comes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got dreams, and I guess I've got specific things in my head, but I have made a very big effort to become less and less attached to those things because of what I said. Like, I feel like so many people, if you get fixated on a point, then you get to that point and it's all over really quickly. Like you're like, I want to play this big show. My whole life's dream is to be able to do this. And then as soon as you do that, it's over. And that's why you see, like with athletes, you see people who their whole life they work to get to the Olympics. Then they do the Olympics, and then afterwards they struggle with alcohol addiction or with drugs or with looking, because they built their whole life around this one thing. Whereas I think that it's really important to remind yourself that it is the journey, even though that's such a cliche thing to say. It is like all of the little steps, making the records, going on the shitty tours and sleeping on floors and not having any money, trying to make it work. But then when you get to those big stages, you'll look back at those days as the good old days. So I think you kind of just have to step back from it all and just enjoy what you have. And the only thing that you can control is just to keep working and keep pressing on regardless of what happens around you.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, we'll end it with a prediction. What I do with everyone is I get them to look ahead a little bit, but I want you to finish this sentence for me. By the end of 2022, Banks Arcade will...
This is a hard one. By the end of 2022, Banks Arcade will have caught heavy music listeners by surprise. I'll say that.
That's good. I like that, because it's
I think that the point of what we're meant to be doing here is just to catch everyone's eye. Like, this isn't the year for us to absolutely take over and come out with this dominating album. I think that this year I think that we'll catch a few people by surprise. And that's what we want to do.
Mate, absolute pleasure to talk to you. The album is great. I can't wait for people to hear it. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, brother. Hopefully see you at a show soon.
Definitely. I'll see you in Sydney.